Hello student, I am Anamika Haldar, Assistant Professor in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Tilak Maharashtra Vidyapeeth. Today we are going to learn about the understanding of the visual language in a film. So what exactly is visual language or visual communication? We will see the basics, that how do we define the elements in a film. So whenever we watch a video or a film, so it can be divided into two parts. First is what we see on the screen and second is what we hear. What we see includes the location, the backdrops, the characters, the costumes, props and action, the kind of symbols and icons that we see on the screen, the colors on the screen, or the props that has been used, or the costume that the characters are wearing, or the actions that they are doing, or maybe the locations or the background that has been used, or the premise. So whatever we are seeing on the screen is the first part. Then second is whatever we hear with the support of the visuals, whatever we can hear, like it will include the dialogues, the sounds, the sound effects that will follow, the songs, it could be the songs, it could be the background music, it could be the ambience, it could be the sound that has been used for describing various kind of actions, like if there's a, what you can say, a car race scene, so there could be screeching of the tires, or if the guy is speaking to the girl, it could be the dialogues. Now for better understanding of the visual language in the film, let us evaluate it in the perspective of one famous scene from the movie Schindler List, and it was made in 1993 by Steven Spielberg. So let us see the scene. It's a very famous scene called The Girl in the Red Coat.
Let's go, please. Come on.
So guys, as we saw the video, this is a very famous scene called The Girl with the Red Coat. Now as we know that this particular film has been totally shot in black and white. So there's a reason behind it. So when we use monotones in a film, it creates a certain kind of meaning. So particularly this film, the setup of this film was around the Nazi Germany, and we are showing the war period. Now just focus on what we are going to see on the screen. So by seeing the setup, by seeing the background, or by seeing the kind of placement of the things and the actions that are happening on the screen, we can figure out that it is your war period. Now let us focus on the symbols that we see. Now how do we define, how do we come to know that this setup itself is from the Nazi Germany? So as we can see here, the particular symbol of the Nazi party, it's an inverted swastika. So by looking at this, we can figure out that the setup is somewhere around World War II in the Germany. Now let us focus on what is happening in the background, whatever we are seeing in the background. We can see that the Jews are pushed out of their homes. Their belongings are thrown on the roads, and kind of like cops are getting on the Jews. Now let us come a little ahead. Now we can see that the Jews are marching towards the ghettos. So we can see again the symbols, like focus on the symbol that they are wearing in their hands. It's the Star of David. So when we look at these symbols, we can figure out what exactly the director wants to communicate to us. So this is the symbol of the Jews, Judaism. So when we see these kind of symbols, we can figure out that what exactly is happening, with whom it is happening, and by whom it is happening. So there's no supportive what you can say description to the video, but we are able to decipher the entire meaning. Now let us come to the premise. Now we can see here what exactly is happening, like we can see the cops, the officers who are throwing away the belongings, and the properties are being seized. So now we will focus a little deeper on what we are hearing. Now the particular sound that has been used in this video, the song, so it is a Jewish hymn which goes like Offen Pripeshock. The meaning of the song itself is that whatever the Rabbi teaches, Rabbi means a teacher. So the song goes like, whatever the Rabbi teaches to the students or teaches to the children, children learn the same and they repeat 1, 2, 3. And we can see the children walking on the road, and we are focusing on this little girl who is walking through the streets, and the song itself says that she is the witness to all this barbarism and all this inhumanity that is going on around Germany, and she is watching it, and that is what she will learn, and that is what the children are going to repeat in future. So even the sound, the elements, the music, or the kind of songs that are used in a particular scene can define a lot what the director wants to tell to the audiences. So even like here we can see what kind of barbarism is happening, like what exactly Oskar Schindler, the protagonist, is seeing, and what exactly is happening. His own men, the Nazi officers, they are saving the bullets. So there was a time when they were shooting 7 people or 5 people at a time with single bullet just in order to save the bullets. So what kind of inhumanity was happening in Germany back then, and the children were watching it, and children were witness to it.
Oh, please, let's go. Let's go, please.
So here we end with the scene. Now coming back to our slide. Now often we have seen the directors using both of their hands and making a frame. This is a very common thing that we see. So there's a term called mise-en-scène, and mise-en-scène basically tells whatever is happening on the screen. So the elements of a mise-en-scène helps understanding the meaning of the sequence and of the film as a whole. So when you are watching something in support of the sounds that are on the screen and looking at the visual elements, you can figure out what exactly is the core message of that particular scene, and sometimes even the entire film. So there could be one scene which can tell about the entire concept behind the visual project. So basically it involves like the setting. In the example that we have seen just now, the setting is of a Nazi Germany, and we can see and we can figure out the Nazi Germany by the symbols and the kind of setup that has been put over there. The dominant characters, so we have seen the officers, we have seen it from the point of view of Oskar Schindler. Then the lightings and the colors, it was all dull kind of a tone, which actually suggested that it was happening during the war period. The props that has been used, the guns, the belongings of the Jewish people, the kind of what you can say clothes that they were wearing, which suggested that they are from a particular period in the time. The space, the entire like premise of the Nazi Germany. Then position of the camera, framing and camera proxemics. So in this particular scene, we were trying to show this entire scene through a perspective of a person. So the positioning of the camera was very important, like it was positioned from a top view. So since we are showing this entire scene from the point of view of a person, so the camera has been positioned in the top angle. Now the framing that we see is according to the point of view that he is witnessing the happenings in the entire city. So the frame consists of everything, like every element that is useful for establishing the entire premise that something wrong was happening. The performances, like whatever is happening, the actions that the actors are doing to convey the meaning, whether it be the Nazi officers, whether it be the Jews, whether it be the small kid who has been witnessing everything and walking through the lanes. The depth of field, the value of the space in focus and out of focus. So here we were actually focusing on the entire thing and not just one person, but here we have used the color rather than depth of field. So the main focus in this entire scene was on the little girl who was wearing the red coat. So we were considering that it is happening to her and she is just an innocent being. So the entire thing that the director wanted to communicate was that these are the kind of things that we are putting our children through, and that actually became the meaning of the scene. Then the staging position, again that goes back to the position of the camera only, and the character proxemics, like how close or how far the characters are standing from each other. So basically it explains a lot about the dynamics that is happening between two particular characters. So if we have to establish a relationship between a Nazi officer and a Jew, we cannot show them being very cozy to each other. They will be obviously standing apart. One will be fearful, one will be maintaining the distance, and the other would be appearing more dominating. The Nazi would be appearing more dominating. So the character positioning also matters, and it explains a lot about the dynamics between two characters. So this is all about your understanding of visual elements in one scene. Thank you.